rather snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Get It Right Texoma. We've got a great show for you today. And
there you go.
Know what?
With the Texoma Trio.
Yes, and we are the Texoma Trio with Mike Hendren, but we can, go to the next thing here. But
Mike Hendren, who's our podcast partner here in the sky, and who are you?
I am Terry McAdams.
There you go, and I'm Trey Sarala.
Yes,
and
that's the trio.
That's the trio. Yeah,
Mike, Trey, and Terry.
Yeah, there's 3 chairs here. There's going to be a guest.
Yep.
But it'll always be the trio.
That's right. I mean, absolutely.
Mike and Terry and I started this together and worked together on the radio, and then started this podcast together. And, of course, Mike's no longer with us, but he will always be part of the trio.
Absolutely. So, all right, what do we got going on?
We've got a great show this morning. We've got updates. We have great updates on what's going on in Texoma. Yep. We have Donny Lee, who's a Wichita Falls ISD superintendent, is going to be with us, and there's a lot going on there. Yeah. We have some lofty food. We have Texas redistricting news, and there's a new sheriff in town.
There we go. All right. Well, we by the way, as you know, right now, if you're watching this live, as we go live every Friday morning, 7:30, and we're on Facebook and YouTube. And if you have a second to go on there and make a comment, I should be able to see it right here live. So please, we want to hear from you. And
Terry's got all kinds of stuff over here working.
Yeah.
He's got multiple screens here, phone, and he is the tech guru for sure.
Yeah, but hearing from you is really important. So please do that. Let us know. And
we'll do a huge thanks to our sponsors, Eddie Hill's Fun Cycles, 401 North Scott, downtown Wichita Falls. Thank you very much. Since 1966.
Yep, and MacTech Solutions, that's us. And we're your Apple source here locally in Wichita Falls. Anything Apple, pretty much we can do. It's unlikely that we can't do it, but let us know if you have anything Apple. And we also do Windows stuff. Believe it or not, we do Windows.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Terry knows his way around a computer. Yeah. So, is there anything the latest and greatest with Apple right now?
Well, there's a new new announcement as far as an event. Apple likes to give a couple of weeks. So on September 9th, there's going to be something new. We expect a few things. Maybe a new AirPods Pro. New iPhone, of course, that's the big thing. Usually, is the new iPhone 17 series is going to probably be released, and a few other things. So, I'll definitely be covering that as soon as we hear from that.
As soon as it drops. So September 9th is
September 9th. Yes,
so September 9th, the world will know.
The world, yes, and the world waits.
Do they ever give you guys any preview and then embargo it? Yeah.
The only embargo technically, and it has no effect, but it's once they've announced, then and they give release dates. They say, well, you can't, if you happen to get some in stock, you can't put them out yet and sell them. Okay. And you can take orders up after a certain point and that kind of stuff. That's the embargo.
Which was sucky because there was a time in the power sports business, and it probably would have been in this business as well, that you got a little bit of a preview. And you kind of knew what was going to happen maybe a week or even a few days before it happened. The problem is all these asshole dealers would just for some reason, they all feel like they're like Mickey Spillane or something and have to be like first to break the news and everything and put it on Facebook and social media. Yeah. Social media killed all that to where none of these companies – and by the way, if I was a large company, I wouldn't trust all of us either.
Yeah, I know.
I wouldn't trust you. No. I wouldn't trust me. Well, I'm not going to do it because I think it's cool and I think it's great to be able to see the new stuff before the world sees it.
Yeah.
But you can't anymore, and those companies can't take that risk.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah, they just can't do it. And man, we've never had that. Apple has never been. Hey, that's something. But again, the only embargo is we might get in the again not so much today, but they used to actually advance. If we placed an order, we could have it ready to go on day one. But no, that's not the way it is anymore. So, but that's okay. It's what it is. So you deal with it.
Well, but like I said, the problem is because they can't trust people.
Yeah, that's right.
They can't trust dealers who can't just do the right thing, and I don't know.
Yeah. So all right. Well, we're here to talk about new sheriffs and other stuff too.
There you go, got a lot
and
to talk
so
about.
Let's just get right into it. So we have a local restaurant focus, and I've never been. I don't think I've ever been to this.
I've not either.
Okay.
I'm just but we're trying to focus on local restaurants. It's the Loft at Pickers. So I guess Pickers is Pickers Universe or something like that. It's basically like a junk store. Or, I'm sorry, whatever they call it.
Antique store, maybe? I don't know.
Is it an antique or whatever?
Yeah.
We used to call them junk stores. I know it's not all junk. It's a variety store or it's a whatever store. But
right.
It's where you can go and buy stuff that used to belong to other people.
Right.
And I guess the difference between junk and antique is how much it costs. Right. It's kind of like the difference between my grandmother used to always say the difference between a vase and a vase was about $25.
Vase and a vase.
Yeah. So Pickers at the Loft at Pickers, apparently they call themselves American Southern Cuisine. I've heard it's really good. I've talked to some people that have been there before. Right. Once again, I've never been there, but apparently they do have live music. I looked at their Facebook page or their website thing, and they have live music.
Okay.
And
so
the food, the pictures of the food that I saw were pretty good.
I forgot to bring up Facebook here. I was just doing it, but yeah, I usually bring up the Facebook. It's Pickers. What is it again? I'm sorry,
the Loft at Pickers.
The Loft.
Yeah.
It's somewhere here. Well,
as Terry frantically searches his for Facebook here.
So live, it's live.
What we're trying to do is the Loft at Pickers.
Yeah, well.
Anyhow.
Yeah, we'll have it.
It's downtown Wichita Falls.
I've heard great things about it.
I have too.
And I think I'm almost there. Here, there we go.
There you go. Okay. We have a winner.
So there we go. 5. Wow, they got a good number of followers. The Loft at Pickers, American Southern Cuisine.
Yeah.
And where history meets hunger. Okay.
Yeah.
So
a little dramatic there, I guess.
Yeah.
But as you scroll down, it looks like they have live music.
Monday. Okay. Great music.
The food looks really good.
Okay.
And I've heard it's really good. And what's their location? They're downtown.
They are. It doesn't. Let's see about. They are in Indiana, 1000 Indiana.
Right.
And their hours are 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Friday morning. So tonight and tomorrow night they're open till 10. Looks like their lunch, and then every day. Otherwise, all 7 days, 11 a.m. is when they open.
Okay.
So and then they've got various dates and times and all that. But go to their website or their Facebook page at least.
You get all the information off their Facebook page.
So yeah,
and go check them out. We do this because we want to support local restaurants.
Yeah.
We don't get anything for this. We don't ask for any advertisement. We don't ask for a free meal. Hell, we don't even get a crouton out of this.
No, yeah, well, but if they offered,
we don't get anything out of this. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
No. I had a friend one time that bought a restaurant, a local restaurant.
Oh.
And I called him, and I said, "Hey, I asked him his name, and I said, let me ask you, how many new friends do you have?" He said, "Man, you wouldn't believe." I said, "Look," I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to come to your restaurant, and I'm going to pay your menu price for something because I want you to be successful. I don't want a free meal. Yeah. I don't want anything from you. And I said, but you're going to be amazed how many new friends you have all of a sudden now that you own a restaurant. And he said that's the case. It was crazy. All of his friends like, "Hey, man, hook me up. And it's like you want your friend to be successful, right? You want them to make money. And when businesses – especially a small business, Terry, you know this, when a small business prices its goods, its wares, whatever it is, you're not going to make billions and billions of dollars. No. You're working off relatively small margins. Now, it's one thing that people do not understand. You have somebody who you say you bought something for $10 and you're going to sell it for $18. People think you're screwing somebody. It's like, no, I have a building, I have rent, I have electricity, I have employees, I have insurance, I have blah, 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 blah. Yep. So now when it's all said and done, I make $1.23 off of that. Yeah, it's $8 more, but all these other things
after everything,
taxes and all. Yeah.
I read something the other day that said that a restaurant, I don't think it'd be worth the investment if you're only making this much, but they were saying maybe 2 to 3% margin, and I'm like,
pretty.
Whoa! I mean, I think our stuff is. I mean, the state of Texas oftentimes makes more in sales tax on a sale than I do.
Every year, I've said for years, I would 100% give the state. I would turn in every bit of profit that we get if I could just keep the sales tax that I collect for the state of Texas. We don't make 8.25%.
Right.
We do. In the end of the day, when it nets out,
we
do not make 8.25%. We collect 8.25% that the state gets.
Right, and then we pass that through. Oh, and we get a little 0.05% of the tax.
Yeah.
Or is that 0.5%? I think it's 0.5% of the actual bottom line tax number that we get to keep as our, I guess, for the convenience.
Well, it's also the cost of it. Right. It's supposed to be a cost recovery measure because it does cost you money.
Oh, yeah.
It's not free. You have to pay somebody or do it yourself if you're a business owner.
You're the tax collector.
Yeah, you have to pay somebody to go in because it's not like you write them a check or if you could just tell them, hey, we collected this much. No, you have to document the amount of money it was and do all the math.
But anyway, so there you go.
The Lofted Pickers, go check them out. Local restaurants, give them some business. We all understand we like to go to, you go to the familiar places and some of the big restaurants and some of the national restaurants are really good. In fact, we're going to talk about one later on that's a national restaurant here in town.
Okay.
But check out the local restaurants.
All right.
There you go.
So we got the After Hours Art Walk happening downtown Thursday, September 4th. That's next week. And go check it out. Hopefully it'll be a little bit cooled off and in the evening start to see that trend downward. We actually have a couple of days this week earlier, Monday or Tuesday. Tuesday was really nice.
Yeah.
And then of course it looks like might be a little bit nice today too.
Well, it's one of those deals, and I believe that or maybe October is their last one. So go down and check them out. And look, this is a lot of fun. The art walk, it's downtown. You talk about a ton of people converging on downtown Wichita Falls. It's fun to see. There's vendors, there's food people, there's street performers, there's just people walking around, people that you know and you don't see very often. You bump into them at the art walk, and it's a lot of fun. And like you said, the weather should be pretty nice. It's getting to the day where we're getting to the the time of year when it may be 100 degrees. Let's say it hits 100 degrees, but it didn't stay at 100 degrees.
Right.
It climbed up there, it hit that, and then it starts to drop off fairly fast, especially as the sun starts to go down a little bit. Right. And that's another thing about downtown. You have the big buildings down there, and you can start getting a lot of shady areas.
Yeah.
This time. Okay. Well, and I don't mean shady is bad. I mean shady is good.
Right. And just on this page, I found basically it says also the next one is even October 2nd. So that's
and I believe that's going to be the last one. I think traditionally.
Okay.
So
there you go. All right.
Well, the Bands to Britain Street Fest is Saturday the 13th from 5 to 8 downtown by the Farmers Market, and this will be the legacy and memorial bands of Wichita Falls have been invited to go to London and march in the New Year's Day parade in London. Okay,
cool.
And which is a big deal.
So was this going to be maybe a fundraiser?
It's a fundraiser.
Okay, yeah.
So as you can imagine, it's not free. It's not cheap. The school district can't
fund it.
Can't do it and wouldn't do it. Excuse me. So they have to raise money. Now there are some people who are just going to be able to write a check for their kids to go to London, and that's great. But the majority of kids can't.
Right.
So they have to work for it.
Yep. Okay.
And the one thing I will say is Loy Studer, which I've known for many years, is the band director at Ryder for a long time. Now he's a band director at Legacy High School. He and his fellow band directors, they believe in kids working for stuff, not the handouts.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And so that's what they're doing. That's why they put on fundraisers. But when they put these fundraisers on, it's not the adults going and raising the money. The kids are there working.
Right.
So the nice thing about it is not only are there going to be music and all that sort of stuff, there's also going to be some great food there because there's a little outfit called Redneck Culinary Academy. We're going to do the cooking.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be a fish fry.
Oh, fish fry.
Right.
Yeah, you know a little bit about that. I had a little experience. That's on your resume, man.
It's on my resume.
He could open a restaurant.
I don't know about all that. Don't know if I want to.
Yeah.
But, no, so Redneck Culinary Academy is going to do a fish fry. So I think they're going to sell tickets ahead of time, and there will be tickets available there. So find some kid or contact the band at Legacy High School or Memorial, because they're both bands are participating in it. This is such a great thing. We talked about it when we first announced it. Travel for kids is good.
Well, yeah.
It opens up the world, and it opens a world of possibilities. Look, if you're a homebody, you want to be at home, that is great. There's nothing wrong with that. But at least understand that there's a world outside of Wichita County. And
really,
this is an opportunity. There are people who never get to travel abroad.
Oh yeah,
but because it's a commitment. I mean, first off, it's a financial commitment. It's a time commitment. You know, you're not going to fly to England in a couple, or drive to England in a couple hours.
Yeah,
well, I mean, it's a
yeah.
Well,
as long
it's
as
2
she's
days
a
of
nice
travel.
broad.
Yeah,
Right.
there you
okay.
go.
No, but
It's a commitment in time. It's a commitment in finances. It's a commitment in getting out of your comfort zone, because you are in a foreign country.
Oh yeah. Well, admittedly, I never, my entire 20 years in the Air Force, never went anywhere outside of the U.S. I mean, I went, and even then, I was pretty much Kansas, Texas, and Arkansas. All ends in AS.
Yeah, my granddad served in World War II. And he grew up in Central Texas, and the farthest he got was Denver.
Yeah, well,
and he's a World War II. He was a World War II vet when he died.
But I did go on a mission trip with our church to Russia in 2006, and and then they took our passports because during that time to get them processed.
I've got no desire to go to Russia. I tell people all the time, I've traveled pretty extensively through Europe, and I tell people, if it's your first time going out of the country, I recommend going to England, Scotland, Ireland, Australia. Yeah. Go someplace where you speak the language, kinda. Yeah. I mean, yes, it's different dialect. They're hard to tell, but hell, you say that it's hard to understand people from Louisiana.
Oh yeah,
and they so
we got somebody.
It's a different dialect.
Cajun.
There. It's a different dialect there in parts of Louisiana, and they're part of the United States.
There you go.
But if you get a chance to travel, or if you get a chance to help these kids go travel, this could be a life-changing experience for some of these students.
Yes.
You'll help them out.
So, all right. Now we got in the news, and let you take that one.
Okay, the Texas redistricting map. They've passed the House and Senate.
Okay.
And, of course, we talked about this kind of ad nauseum, so we don't want to wear it out. This is where famously the Democrats left they broke quorum. They left the state, so the House and the Senate, the government could not do their job. Steve was very passionate about how angry he was about that last week, and I share that. It was a ridiculous thing. We knew they were going to come back because they have to at some point. They got to do their job, and we knew this was going to pass. Yeah. It's going to go through the courts. You can either be for or against it, and we've given compelling reasons why Texas is doing this what we'd consider mid-cycle.
Right.
Traditionally, you wait till the census comes out every 10 years and do the redistricting. There's a lot of good reasons why Texas is doing it now, and I tend to agree with them. The one thing I will tell you, because when you start hearing about racism and stuff, and one of our former guests, David Spiller, he got a lot of camera time when there was a lady who was a Democrat who was standing up there calling the guy who was the sponsor of the bill a racist, and David was behind her waiting in line to do his speaking. But the one thing I will say is I appreciate the Democrats coming back and debating.
Yeah.
I appreciate them coming back, because this is what you do. When you are sometimes, if you're in a body of some sort, whether it's a nonprofit, whether it's a government position, no matter what it is, you're going to find yourself in the minority at some time.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But what you do is you fight. You come in here, you give all your reasons, and you debate. And when people say it's useless, it's not useless to debate.
No.
Because if you come up with good, solid arguments, and you may lose this one, but the next time something comes up, you may get some people on your side. Because they've seen that you come at things with intelligence and with reason and rationality.
Right.
I will tell you that when you start hearing about people throwing this racist, and I'm so goddamn sick of the racist shit being thrown out every 2 seconds. Somebody says something you don't like, and it's racist. It's ridiculous. Yeah. But when it comes to, there were 5 new districts that were created. 4 of the 5 will be a Hispanic minority. I'm sorry, a Hispanic majority.
Okay.
So it created 5 new districts, and 4 of them are a minority. They're Hispanic majority. So tell me how racist that is.
Well, right. And the other thing, I mean, I'm zooming in here. I know I've seen some maps that in the past that they drew this weird little
gerrymandering. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess but that's apparently legal.
Well, it has to be
but they're not.
There's some gerrymandering that's not legal. The one thing I will tell you, every one of these maps has to pass muster with the Department of Justice.
Right.
There are people in our government that their whole job is to look at maps, look at districts, and make sure that there's not that people literally are not cutting out.
Right.
And saying, okay, we're going to make sure all this is over here. But what I find incredibly racist about this, and once again, it usually goes back to the liberals that are this way, they keep talking about that cuts out a majority black. So you're saying that everybody who's a certain color has to vote a certain way?
Right.
That's such bullshit.
Yeah.
I hate that so much. And it is such a racist, it is passively racist. I've had a whole thing about active versus passive racism.
Right.
If you group people together and you think they must do this because they're this color, because of the color of their skin, that is racist.
Yeah.
It's passive racism, but it is racist. People are people. They're human beings. They're intelligent people. It doesn't matter if they're white, if they're black, if they're brown, if they're Asian. It doesn't matter what they are. Give them at least the respect and the dignity that they can vote the fucking way they want to vote.
Tell us how you really feel.
Have to vote based on their color.
No, I got it.
It's infuriating to me that you have these people out there who want to lean so much on the color of somebody's skin. It's like, no, people can vote the way they want to vote. It's okay to be a white guy who wants to vote for a black person, and it's okay for a black person to want to vote for a white person.
Yeah, and
see past color.
Well, and there's a school of thought, if you will, that the more we bring up race, the more it becomes a problem. And I'm not saying we're making racists, but it gets to be irritating when the people who, and it's not to dismiss anything in the past.
No,
it's not to
our past is our past, our history
gloss
is our history.
over anything. It's simply, what is it? We have so much. We have no control of what happened in the past. Zero. There is nothing you can do about the past. I cannot the word I just said, I can't, if I wanted to change it, I can't. It's out, especially
my
being
time
public.
Machine's broken.
Right. That's it. Yeah, I know. So, but that to me is that how do people not understand that part of it? Now, not to forget the past, absolutely not, but to move forward and look at what it ideally should be. And yes, today there's biases. There's so many other more biases. It's actually less about racism, and it is more about who you know, your networking and that kind of stuff. And some could argue that that's in some ways bad, because just if you're not in the club, or you're not in this, or you're not in this organization or whatever. But it's people like to work with and do business with people they know, like, and trust. That is a pure, proven, absolute, logical, and even okay thing. I mean, that's good because I'm not gonna. Why would I do business with somebody I don't trust?
That's right.
If I don't like them, why should I be forced to do business with them?
Well, have you seen what our society is doing?
Yeah, it's just
the days of the segregate. We have for years, and it's slow, becoming much and much more of an integrated society, and it's not forced integration.
Right.
That's the black part of town or the Hispanic part of town. That stuff is kind of over. You may have a part of town still that has more black people in it, or more Hispanic in it, or more whatever in it.
Right.
But if you look across town and just go from neighborhood to neighborhood, there's different races in the whole neighborhood. The whole street is not one color.
Right. Well, but there are predominantly, because as you go through Dallas, especially, I mean, there's places that are just, I mean, and there's there's Korean and there's a Hispanic.
You do have that, but there's more and more people that are not just are not just congregating in those areas. They're going, hey, I'm going to live over here. I'm going to live over there.
But whatever the case is, just think about that. And I know probably our audience is likely to be more on the on that.
The thing is, just quit throwing the racism out every 2 seconds. If you don't like something, quit throwing out that's racist.
Right. And
because once again, if 5 districts are being created and 4 of them are majority that are not currently majority Hispanic districts, there are going to be 4. Last time I checked, Hispanics are a minority, barely.
Right.
But they are considered a minority, right?
Right.
Okay. So how racist is that?
Right. Well,
the problem is you have people who, it's like, it's a minority, but it's got to be a certain minority. Because the fact of the matter is, who's really a minority? Asians are really a minority. Indians are really a minority. And when I say Indians, I mean people from India.
Right.
Those are really a minority in America, but yet they don't really get looked at much in the minority population.
No.
Or people don't consider them a minority.
They're other, probably.
Exactly.
If you want to, but they're not other. All of us are important. Every human being has high value, especially in God's eyes. And so we're human. And
we'll give everybody the respect and the dignity to make their decisions the way they want to make their decisions.
And again, as a white male, both of us, white males, that is absolutely, we can't understand. We're not in their shoes. We're not in anybody else's shoes.
Yeah, but nobody's in our shoes. I dismiss that bullshit. I am so tired of that shit. Go be a conservative, white, straight man in America over the last decade and tell me how easy your life is.
No. I'm not. That's not my point. My point is that we're not. You're not in our shoes. We're not in your shoes exactly. But that's not to say that we can't have some compassion and understanding of the realities that are out there. It's just that don't make up stuff.
I totally agree.
Don't create. Yeah. And I have to say this, and we'll end it, or unless you want to continue. But I had a lady come in here that it was a black lady, and we had a policy about collecting we had this for a long time. The policy for unfortunately, we have to keep your phone to be able to do repair on it, and that's, I know it's inconvenient, but when Ken told her, hey, if you want to keep your phone, we have a deposit. Oh, well, that's racist. I mean, literally. Well, you're doing that because I'm black. Well, what?
Yeah.
And so what did we do? What did Ken do? He panicked, but he's like, well, okay, let you keep your phone without a deposit.
And unfortunately, there are people, and it's not most, but there are people that are traditional minority people who will use that as a racist, especially if it's a white guy. Yeah. Because the last thing is that a white man wants to be called as a racist. You call me a racist, I'm going to laugh in your face.
Right. Well,
because I got tons and tons of receipts, and I will have a legion of black people that come up and tell you what all I've done to help black people.
Yeah. Well, I think
to be fair, I just want to put this was very disturbing to Terry that somebody in his store was even called a racist.
I know.
It bothered him. I can remember that whole conversation. It's like, it bothered you. You talked about it for weeks.
I couldn't believe that
somebody got called a racist.
Right. And it's the policy that I decided this, right? And so, but here's the good thing is that when she came to pick up her phone, her replacement, there was a gentleman that had come in and he had to turn in his phone. and I said, sir, I'm sorry I had to, and I did this purposefully to bring it up. And she's may have been tone deaf on the whole thing, but I at least tried. I said, sir, I'm sorry we had to take your phone. It's just something that we've had problems with people returning and we get charged. He goes, oh, no big deal. I had a spare. It wasn't, big deal.
You have to take a deposit to keep your.
Right, exactly. And it was just, the point was I'm not treating him better because he's a white male than I would with her.
Let me clue everybody in, because there's this overarching theory that's been out there for a long time that white men look out for each other. White men don't give two shits about other white men.
No.
I will tell you in 2 seconds, a white man will stab another white man in the back in a quarter second.
Yeah.
We have no loyalty to each other because of the color of our skin or because of our gender. Zero.
Oh.
Zero. And if you think that that's the case, I'm not. You can tell me what happened in 1942
right.
or 1950. Maybe there was a time.
Right.
But in my lifetime, I have never felt compelled to stand up for somebody, endear myself to somebody, or help somebody because they were a white man, because they look like me, or had the same private parts that I do.
Yeah.
I don't give two shits. And the majority of people I know that look like me don't give two shits that somebody else looks like them.
Right. And to wrap this up, redistricting is a political process. It has to do, and there's a certain amount of gerrymandering that can be done on either side, whoever's in charge, and it may actually lean towards that particular and to the benefit of that party, right? I mean that's just the way it is, and it's is there some one individual's heart in that group that's deciding? Maybe. We don't know what's in people's
you don't know people's heart,
but I can't sit here and tell absolutely no. But I can just say that the people who matter that have it, I guarantee, none of them are after race here. That's just crazy.
All right,
so
sounds good.
All right. Well,
there's a new sheriff in town. You want to talk about that?
Well, yeah, I guess so. So we had Sheriff Duke has retired, announced retirement.
He will officially be retired at the end of today. Yeah, the end of August. Yes.
Okay, so Sunday then, if it's 31st. Okay, so and then we've put in I guess Chief Deputy William Rutledge as the interim Wichita County Sheriff. So I don't know that gentleman. You were at the Sheriff Duke's retirement
thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I met the new sheriff. I'd met him in the past. I don't know him very well, but he has worked for the Wichita County Sheriff's Office for quite some time, and he's been the chief deputy for quite some time with David, and was actually the person that David supported to replace him. Yeah. And so, it seems like he has a lot of support, and not only from David, but from the department. Which is good. You want some sort of continuity to go in. So
what's the process, the legal process? Who does he nominate him, and whether that's an official or just hey, put him in
the county commissioner's court.
Okay, the commissioner's court.
The county commissioner's court, which is the county commissioners and the county judge, they appoint.
Okay, so that's an interim, right? But until there's a next election, there's not a special election.
No, they're not going to make a special election because
could they?
They could.
Okay.
But elections are expensive.
Well, yeah.
People don't realize that. When you start throwing special elections out there, you might spend $30,000-$40,000 on an election of taxpayer money for what reason when there's already going to be one.
Right.
So we'll have to run for the primary in March, and then we'll be up for general election in November of next year. So which, by the way, it bothers me that sheriffs run for primaries. It bothers me that county commissioners run for primaries. We really do need to change this law in Texas to where everything from county and down is not tied to a party. I don't like it. There's no reason for it. What difference does it make if the sheriff's a Democrat or Republican?
Right, but I mean, you still think we should do elections?
No, election's not a party.
But not like the mayor.
The mayor, the city council, the school district, they're not party affiliated. There's no party affiliation. You have city, you have and school district that have no party affiliation. You move to county, and all of a sudden there becomes a party affiliation.
Right.
And it just doesn't make sense. There's so many jobs. The county treasurer, what's he got to do? Whether it does, I don't care if they're Democrat or Republican. I want them to be an honest person who can count.
Right.
The county auditor. There's so many things that really are not political positions that are voted on. I don't mind them being voted on, but I don't think they need to be part of the party. But anyhow, want to say congratulations to Chief Deputy Rutledge, about to become Sheriff Rutledge. And let me tell you, being a sheriff in Texas is a big deal.
Right.
I mean, every county has a sheriff, but it's a prestigious thing. So I want to say thank you to David Duke for all his work. I mean, David's done a great job as a sheriff, made a lot of changes in the sheriff's department and the way they operate Of course, that new law enforcement center, he was a huge part of getting that pushed through. And then once the voters approved it, making sure that it was built the right way. I mean, he was very involved in all that. So he's done a great job. I want to say thank you to David for all his service and his years of service. And want to say congratulations to Sheriff Rutledge and good luck.
All right, cool. So, this is an interesting one. So, Trump, and I think it's not as bad as it sounds in the quotes of the way that the media tries to spin things. But basically, he wants to he off the cuff said something about changing the Department of Defense's name to the Department of War.
Right.
And no. Let me just say this. No, that is I think it's actually kind of is it stupid? Yeah, I think it's a little bit stupid. No need. And all the money. I mean, there's so many aspects of it.
That was my whole my whole very first reaction to it was, I don't want to spend taxpayer money to make a massive change, because that would be probably billions. Yeah. Or probably at least $1 billion to change all the letterhead, the naming, everything.
Yeah, I mean, if you need to do it, you need to do it. That shouldn't be a reason not to. I mean, just imagine all the costs.
Why would you need to do it?
Well, I don't think you need to. I'm not suggesting you need to. I think in this case especially, but I think it's a little, there are other reasons beyond the money. I think that I think there's something to when you title something that if you have a name for something, it means something. It should mean something. And if you, I think by having the word war in it, I think that again, I'm not worried about the rest of the world and all that, but I think it does give a connotation about what is the intent of that department. It is not to go to war. Well, that's not. We're a defense force primarily. We need to have an offensive capability. Absolutely. No, there's
the primary.
I would never
the primary goal of the military is to defend the homeland.
Right, but where do you have a strong defense is by having a strong offense,
or
vice versa.
I get it, but the primary goal. The stated primary goal of our military is to not go kill people in foreign lands.
Right.
Not the goal.
No.
I'm not saying we don't do it.
That is the purpose of a military is to kill people and break things.
No, the purpose of the military is to defend the homeland.
Well, you're right.
That is what the purpose of the military is for.
Right. That is the primary overriding thing to protect. But I'm saying by the way of killing things and breaking things. Having the capability.
You're getting into the weeds on that. Right. I'm just talking about what is the overarching goal.
Right.
The overarching goal is to protect the United States of America.
That is the number one goal, I think, stated in our Constitution. Probably, if you had to pick one thing, its first responsibility is to defend our nation against, because they're the reality
against invaders, foreign and domestic.
Right.
Isn't that in the? I think
that's part of your oath when you take oath for military service.
So just for a little historical context here, 1789, the War Department was created. By the way, it was never called the Department of War.
Right, it was the War Department.
Right, the War Department was created at a cabinet level agency.
Yep.
In 1947, the National Security Act of 1947,
September 18th.
was passed abolishing the War Department and creating the National Military Establishment, which later became the Department of Defense.
Yep.
And in 1949, the name was officially changed to the National Military Establishment
to the Department
of Defense.
Yep.
So I agree with you. Now, I will say this: you got to look at the context on this. And of course, all the media. And when you sent me this story, you had just picked it up off of a media source,
right?
So you hadn't watched the context of it.
I had not. I just read it.
This was a kind of a typical Trump sitting around in a press conference thing, and he said something about Department of Defense. I really don't. We're supposed to be able to go to war. I mean, he starts his whole BS that he does, and that blew out of this. I don't think it's not like Trump came out and said, I have a major announcement. We're going to change the Department of Defense to the Department of War.
Right.
This was part of a conversation. I don't like when he does things like that.
Yeah.
I can't control when he does things like that. But just because he says it, and by the way, we all ought to know, just because it comes out of Trump's mouth does not mean it's going to happen.
Right.
Now, there's a lot of shit that comes out of his mouth that does stick. And some of it needs to happen, but not every little thing. And I think Trump is one of those people. A little bit of it is his mind bounces around a bunch, I'm sure. But I think a little bit of it, he says things kind of off the cuff, and then that gets a conversation going. And that conversation could either be, no, that's stupid, we're not going to do that, or, wait a minute, maybe so. And sometimes those, when people brainstorm, Trump is a big picture person. He's a brainstormer. He comes up with ideas and he throws ideas out there. And that's part of being in business when you're trying to run a very successful business is you come up with ideas, and some of them are kind of outlandish and some of them are out there a little bit, but you throw them all out there and you start to workshop them.
Right.
And you brainstorm them.
Sure.
And you may have 10 stupid ideas,
right,
but you may have 3 good ideas.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's just that sometimes his first thought is not it's just that obviously, even watching the video that you showed me, he says things that are he goes, well, I think if you take him at his word, what he says, that I've been talking about that, or he gives you the the idea that maybe he's been thinking about that.
I don't know. It didn't seem like to me. It sounded like he threw that. It hit him wrong, and he had this thought came into his head, and then started down the path there.
Need to edit. Okay.
I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't want it to happen.
Right.
Because for a lot of reasons, like you said, there is some. Yeah, there's probably some moral implications on the naming of it, and the reason it was named the way it was. But to me, a lot of it's an economic thing. Well, I don't want us to spend a whole bunch of money.
Yeah, you're right.
I just don't.
Well, what did we do here? We spent money to change the name of Fort
Hood was one of them.
And then we changed it away from Fort Hood, and then we changed it back. So we spent that money twice that really shouldn't have been done.
It shouldn't have been done in the first place.
But we did. But now that's not the whole Department of Defense, admittedly.
Right.
But it's still, I imagine the whole Department of Defense rename would be a huge, because you've got, it's overarching for all the military services.
Can you imagine how many T-shirts and jackets and ball caps and pieces of letterhead and pins and everything that has Department of Defense on it?
Yeah, well.
And every bit of that would change?
Yeah. Oh, I know. No, I don't pretend to know what that would cost, but doggone, yeah, it would be a lot.
I would say it's going to be in the neighborhood of a shitload.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the range of a shitload.
Yeah, maybe a cost of a B-2 bomber. I don't know. Something like that. But anyway, so that's I just absolutely I see no reason for it. And in fact, I think Department of Defense fits for a lot of reasons. And I really try to look at things objectively and go, could that be better? But even if it could be better, is it worth? What's the value add?
Right.
What is the value add there? And I think it actually has a negative value if you change it to the Department of War, because it just then there's already, again, not to appease other people, other countries, but there's already enough negative about us, and then we lead with our military department as the Department of War.
Yeah.
I just think that says, oh, well, that must be what you want to do, is you want to go to war. I mean, of course, we've already accused of that. So, anyway.
And by the way, it was never called the Department of War.
Right.
It was called the War Department.
War Department.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, but it's
right.
It's once again, you talk about a name. It's
no,
a name.
I know. Yeah. Well, they were World War I. Of course, it wasn't World War I when we went to it, right?
The people then didn't think about it. Just like the first Battle of Bighorn. They didn't call it the first Battle of Bighorn.
Yeah.
That was the first battle. It was the second battle they called it that. So,
all right. So,
anyhow,
okay.
Cracker Barrel.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, you talk about talking about face.
Yeah. Well, let me just say that right off the bat, I don't care, but I'm not that big of a fan. So it's not a big deal to me.
I don't care. First off, it's a business; they can do what they want to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I'm not a massive Cracker Barrel's got pretty good breakfast.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I like their food. I mean, but how often have you gone there for dinner?
Oh,
I don't know that I ever have.
I have a few times, not a lot. My parents used to like to go there for dinner, and they were close by.
Miranda,
So I've gone there probably more than you.
Gone to dinner?
Twice.
But most of the time, ever.
Yeah.
Oh, just breakfast or otherwise?
In my lap both times.
Oh, it's the service. Okay.
I'm done.
Okay. Well, hey.
I've never had that happen.
No.
Interesting.
Both times.
But anyhow, here's the thing about Cracker Barrel. When you have these companies, they get these CEOs, these marketing departments that are out of touch. This is kind of like the whole Bud Light thing. You get some people that are out of touch.
Yeah.
And then they realize the world has changed. Okay. Yeah. People people had DEI and you're this and you're that shoved at their hind end so long.
Yeah.
There's been a backlash to that and go, hang on a second. Just because there's some old guy on a barrel, that's not racist. And I'm not a racist because I like it.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to do as Americans. Look in your heart. Now, if you're a racist, then you're a racist. I mean, I can't help you there.
Yeah.
But, and by the way, no better time in the country to be a racist because they get lumped in with everybody. A real racist, who knows whether somebody's really a racist or not.
Right. That's
it's salad
the
days
danger.
for the real racist. But yeah, because everybody gets lumped in as a racist. But you know in your heart what you are, and you know in your heart what you believe. Yeah. So if somebody tells you that you're bad or you're racist or whatever for believing or liking something, tell them to fuck off. Because you honestly need to stand up for yourself, and that's exactly what this was.
Yeah.
And this was the American public as a whole backlashing, going, look, we're tired of this stuff being shoved on us and us being told we're bad and we're this and we're that and we're other. First off, it's an old guy on a barrel.
Well, yeah.
I mean, he's not wearing a Klan hood. There's not a cross burning behind him. I mean, well, come on. Well, he's not got the Black Panther fist up. I mean, let's go.
Aunt Jemima was taken away,
which was ridiculous. The American public.
And this was a white dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, and the problem with Aunt Jemima was Aunt Jemima's family, because Aunt Jemima was a real person.
Yeah.
And Aunt Jemima's family was pissed.
Well, yeah. I mean,
about her being removed off that, and they should have been.
Yeah.
The Land O'Lakes Indian girl, which I don't think that was a real person. Obviously, that wasn't based on a real person. Right. That was taken away. But I think what's happening, and we saw this with Bud Light, when Bud Light tried to shove Dylan Mulvaney down people's throats that were Bud Light drinkers. Once again, I don't drink beer. I don't give a shit. I never drank I don't know that I've ever drank a Bud Light, and I've never bought a Bud Light. I don't care, but I did care that somebody was trying to shove things down people's throat, and the American public reacted. And they've done that with Cracker Barrel. And I know Trump wants to take credit for it. It wasn't all Trump. It was the masses of people who came out. Because when you see the stock market starting to drop, their stock pricing, not the market, but their stock pricing started to drop dramatically.
Yeah. Well, it's obvious. It's they didn't have the voice of the customer. They didn't understand what was important to the customer, and I think they could have rebranded with in a different way. But I think there's apparently a lot of history that I wasn't aware of until this all blew up. But I don't even remember or know any of the specifics other than that there was some connotation that they were woke. But I don't I don't know. I don't know what happened personally. I was just surprised this all came out, and then it's like, why is this such a big deal? But then. But they also, it doesn't matter. What's the perception of your customer?
Yeah, what does the customer want?
So whether it's, so the perception, reality or not, the perception of the customer, which it is reality, it becomes reality.
Perception is reality.
Yeah, and so you gotta listen. And some people are saying is, half-hearted. Oh, okay, we messed up, and they're still going to be woke, is what a lot of people think, but. In the end, like when Starbucks was, doing their thing, and with the bathrooms and Target and all of that, that's a distraction. It is. It does. It if you just keep things and you're reacting to a minority of a population,
a very small minority,
then
loud but small.
Right. That means you're not listening to your customer. Every business. I don't listen to people who use Android. If they came in and said, "You don't carry Android,"
no,
okay,
yeah, I don't.
And you don't carry, what brand don't you carry? A lot.
Yeah, I don't carry K&M.
There you go. So don't expect me. But if for some reason I had some like, oh my God, I want everybody to like me.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna go. Then I might start talking about Android. But and then I'm gonna take away from my customers in the Apple world. Potentially. Right?
By the way, Terry is I mean,
I'm a closet Android user.
No, he's a closet Androidite. Yeah.
I haven't used why.
He's anti-Android.
There you
go.
go.
But I think what happened was because I think Cracker Barrel appeals to the nostalgia appeals to a lot of people.
Oh yeah, it's
the little country store where you go in there and you can get the little stripedy candy, the peanut butter candies, and you get all that old stuff. And at Christmas time they have all these decorations and all that. And I think that appealed to people, and that was part of it. Was they're trying to take the nostalgia away.
And
whether they were or not, that's how people felt.
Yeah,
and like you said, perception is reality with the customer. Right. That's how people felt. People repelled, and at least Cracker Barrel was smart enough to go, "My bad, we'll take care of it."
Well, I don't think they had much choice.
They had a choice. Everybody has a choice.
No, I know, but
the company's not going to go out of business.
No, but their stock price and their shareholders and everybody else I'm sure there was quite a bit of feedback.
I'm sure there was. Yeah.
And y'all need to fix this. It's not that the shareholders necessarily cared whether they rebranded or not, but the fact is it wasn't successful. It was actually a major mess up. And so and then think about it. They've saved a lot of money. They've already spent a lot of money, but they've saved some money by not
going through and new signs everywhere.
That's right.
So. Well, anyhow, sorry, but we've our guest did not make it today. I hadn't heard from him, but he is the superintendent of schools.
Yeah,
he probably there could have been a fire, and I don't mean a literal fire, but he might be putting fires out right now. We will get him on and reschedule him at another time. He's a good guest. He's a good person.
Okay.
And I know he was planning on coming in. I always try to verify with guests a couple of days ahead of time. And he was good to go.
Well,
but he did say that he had to be gone by 8:30. So whatever his 8:30 thing might have started happening at 8 o'clock and can't make it. So
and that's okay, and that's part of being live too.
Absolutely.
We just some stuff happens.
Well,
sometimes.
next week's guest. But speaking of live, by the way, I did drop a couple of F-bombs today. I apologize if anybody's offended by that. I don't do it every once in a while, but I don't do it for fun. I do it because it's
emphasis.
I'm putting emphasis,
right? So, and that shows a bit of passion behind it.
Yeah,
too,
I try to keep it to a minimum. We don't. If this is the first time you've watched us, if you go back and watch some past episodes, it's not F-bomb, and cuss. It's occasionally we throw a word in, and that's the nice thing about this format rather than the radio, because the radio you couldn't say it. You had to watch it. Next week's guest will be Mike Campbell, who's the Clay County judge. He'll come and visit with us and talk to us about all things going on in Clay County.
Right. Yep. And Clay County, that's where we both live, and we know Mike. Mike was on the radio back when. Not necessarily all the time when we were, but we. He
was on longer, and he and Mike Hendren were on the radio together for a long time. Mike was a producer and co-host of that show that the Rise and Shine show that Mike Campbell and Joe Tom White and Mike Hendren
all on there
were on, and like I said, Mike not only co-hosted, he also produced that as well.
Right. So cool. Well, I tell you what, I'm glad y'all were here. Appreciate y'all joining us, and please share this. Let everybody know that we're here because we're really trying to get this going. We've got the guests, we've got the content. We just need to hear back from you about what other things you would like, and tell us what you don't like. That's okay.
We want to say that I don't think anybody gets the guests that we have.
No.
When you talk about the guests, local and regional guests that we get, we've had Congressman Ronnie Jackson on. We've had both of our state representatives that are in our area close by. We've had the mayor. We've had city councilors. We have the superintendent of schools. Right. And we're the president of Midwestern State University. We've got some big time people on.
And the thing about that is that so they're on the big media, but they don't get the long form. This they have an opportunity to be here for at least 30 minutes.
Yeah,
typically,
exactly.
And so they have an opportunity to take, and you have an opportunity to hear a lot more and fill in the gaps.
Of
knowledge about them and what they're positions and what they do and all of that.
Right. I've done a whole lot of interviews on TV, and that's the thing. They'll come to you.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll interview you for 10 or 15 minutes, and it's a minute and a half.
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking TV because they're in a format. They have a format, the news. They have to. When I say interviews on TV, it's on the news, not that nobody's interview me on Entertainment Tonight or anything like that. But on the news, on local news, but they have a format. They can only put in so much information. They can't dedicate 15 minutes to one story.
Right.
So I understand. Don't knock them. Right. It's just part of the format.
Right. And so just, please share this and let everybody know and that we're here. And, of course, our archive of shows. Now, I will say Facebook recently in the last year, you're not going to see, I think it's a year or I forget what it is. Any live stream gets automatically deleted, but it will stay on YouTube. So
YouTube, it's on there.
Right.
So it lasts.
But anyway, appreciate y'all being there, being here with us, and whether you're watching live or watching after the fact. So we want to thank you for being there, and I guess we're going to wrap it up. And so as our friend and of course the spouse and wonderful spouse of Miranda over here always said, as he left and signed us off, was, well, we'll see you down the road.
You make this rather snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.